guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to start a new series on my channel. And I have been brewing on this idea for a while, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to jump in with both feet and just do it already. So this series is going to be a BookTubers Made Me Buy It series. And I've seen videos going around, it was a while ago, but it was like, BookTube made me buy it. What books am I buying because of BookTubers or because I've seen it on BookTube so much? But I wanted to go a little bit further into it than that. And I wanted to talk about specific BookTubers made me buy these books. And then I'm going to read them. I subscribe to a lot of channels, over 100. I consistently watch kind of, like my favorites and certain people and who post consistently. I'm trying to keep up on their channels and stuff. But there are quite a few channels that have influenced me to buy certain books. And it's because I either hear them talk about them, whether they're hauling them or whatever, or if they do a review on them, I have picked up books because of that, or I've seen them read them. And they raved about it, and I picked it up because of those certain people. And I definitely have enough books on my shelves from certain people who influenced me to buy those books. And I thought it would be fun to read them and see what I think. And in each video, I plan to read books that certain people influence me to buy. And then I can do kind of a vlog style of reading those books and let you know what my thoughts were. I thought that would be very interesting. So we're going to go ahead and start today. I'm going to kind of go for the easiest one that I could pick up books off the top of my head because she is my favorite booktuber out there. And that is Kayla from BooksandLala. She is my favorite. This is no secret. Everybody knows. If you've been here at any length of time, I've probably mentioned her at some point. But I have picked up quite a few books after hearing her either talk about them or hearing her read them or talk about the authors or something like that. And I specifically remember buying these books because of what I have heard her say about either the book or the author. So we're going to go through my shelves. I'm going to pick 3 of those books to read. I'm going to read them in this vlog and let you know what my final thoughts on them are. Okay, so we are on my bookshelves. This is kind of like where my chair normally sits. But when I thought about this project, the first one I thought about with Lala is this one right here, is First We Were Four by Alexandra Sirui. I 1000% picked this up because she talked about it on her channel. She loved it. This also has some of my buzzwords like school setting, secret society, secrets, stuff like that. So this is going to be the first one on my list. All right, the next one, we are in my hallway here, but this one right here I picked up because she has talked about Emery Lord as an author, and she did read this one and really enjoyed it. She hasn't loved all of her books, but she has featured Emery Lord on her channel quite a bit, and this one in particular was on there. And I found this at Goodwill and picked it up because I remembered Lala talking about her. So this is a young adult contemporary. All right, and now we are in my bedroom, and I have this shelf right here, and one on this shelf that really stood out to me that she talked about. I don't even know if she actually read it or not, but I remember she talked about it in her Closet Unhaul project. It was featured in one of those months, but I can't remember if she read it or not. But it's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini, and I believe this is located in a mental health clinic or something like that where he is staying, and I think it deals a lot with mental health. But I remember she was supposed to read it one of those months. I just don't remember if she actually did read it or not, but I do remember picking it up because I saw it on her channel and I was like, oh, it's only $0.25, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it because I saw Lala talk about it. All right, so these are 3 of the many books that Kayla from BooksandLala has influenced me to pick up. So I am going to read them now. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and get started. So when I looked at the 3 books that I picked, I was going to pick one to start with first, and I picked the one that I'm the most excited to read. Kind of the one that, like, when I picked it up, I was so excited. Now, that is First We Were Four by Alexandra Sirui. The interesting thing about this is this doesn't have super high ratings on Goodreads. It's a 3.43, which to me, that's a little low. I think anything less than a 3.5 is kind of on the lower scale. But it's interesting because it doesn't have a lot of ratings either. It's less than 700 ratings on Goodreads. So that's interesting. There's not a whole lot out there about this book, which means like not a ton of people are reading it. So that makes me a little bit more intrigued to see what I think. And this one definitely has a lot of my buzzwords like secret society, school setting. Yes, please. That gets me interested. So we're going to start with this one. This one is a little over 400 pages. It's like 440 something or something like that. So a little up there, but hopefully it will just pull me in and suck me in and I won't be able to put it down. So I will let you know what I think. Okay, guys, so I finished First We Are Four by Alexandra Siruri, and I actually really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it a 4 stars, which is the same rating that Kayla gave it, and it was good. It was a slow burn. It was very much a character-driven story, which isn't normally what I gravitate towards, but I still really enjoyed it. It did take me a while to read it, though. This took me almost a month to read it because I was reading other things at the same time as well. But overall, I did really enjoy it. I thought the characters were really good and very complex. I really liked their relationship and their connections with each other and the bonds that they have, and I liked the secret society that they created, and it came complete with, you know, rituals and rules and stuff like that, and they really made a big impact on their community, not necessarily in a great way, but yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It just took me a really long time to read, so I did give it 4 stars instead of 5 because it wasn't unputdownable for me, but it was consistently interesting, and I enjoyed being in the story when I was in it. So yeah, all right, first one down. Hey guys, all right, so I'm getting started on the next book on the list for books that Kayla influenced me to purchase. So I'm going to be reading the start of Me and You by Emery Lord. I'm going to start this today because today is actually the first day of the Buzzword Readathon that Kayla is hosting, and the buzzword is you. And I had already picked this book out off my shelves, you know, for this project. I started this project before she announced her buzzword, so it just turned out to be absolutely perfect. I could not believe my luck with that. When she announced the buzzword, I was like, perfect, because I have this picked. I bought it because you told me to, and I'm going to read it for the readathon, for her readathon. So this will be the next one to give a read and see what I think. It is a contemporary, young adult contemporary, so I think it should go pretty quickly, and I am definitely excited to get started on it. So I'm going to read this over the next day or two, hopefully, and let you know what I think. All right, guys, so I just finished The Start of You and Me by Emery Lord, and I think this is going to be a 3-star read for me. It was good. I enjoyed it. I did have one section in here where I didn't want to put it down. I read, I think, 100 pages in one sitting. But for the most part, it was very, you know, these are kids in high school, so it was very high schooly. It was very high school problems for a little bit of it. The one thing that I really did like in this book is the friendship that 4 of these girls had with each other. Like, it is unbreakable. They will do anything, drop anything for their friends, and they do. So that I did like. And I liked all the characters. You know, there weren't really any mean people or mean girls or anything like that in here, so I appreciated that. I appreciated that the parents are very present in their lives. So that was good. And I was a little disappointed in the end because, you know, the love interests, you know, they end up together, but it was only in the last 5 pages of the book, and I wanted more of that because it spent almost this whole book, you know, building up their relationship, building up and getting to know each other and realizing that they love each other. And then when they finally admitted it, like, it stopped. I'm like, what? But I want them together, and I didn't really get to see that, so that was a little bit disappointing. But I don't know. Overall, it was good. It was also a good book about grief. Our main character is grieving more than once for more than one person. So there's that too. So that was good. But yeah, so 3 stars. Overall enjoyable. Not the best thing I've ever read. And I did have a couple problems, but it was good. I still think it was definitely worth the read. So if you want a really good, like, young adult contemporary, this was solid. All right, guys, so I am ready to get started on the third book that Kayla made me buy. And this one it's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini. Now, this one I believe deals with mental health, and I think it's based on the author's real experience of spending some time in a psychiatric ward in a hospital. And then he came home and wrote this book inspired by that. So I think there's probably going to be a lot of things that he actually experienced, people he encountered, things like that in here. I've heard it's really good, so we'll see. I don't think that Kayla read this one, though. I couldn't find her review for this, or I couldn't find a review that she wrote for this book on Goodreads, so I don't think she read it. She might have unhauled it. But I'm pretty positive I saw her talk about this in her closet unhaul that she did a couple years ago. That was like so awesome. And she had it as one of her reads for one of the months, but I don't think she got to it, so she probably unhauled it. So I don't think she actually read it, but I did pick it up because I remembered seeing it on her channel. And I was like, oh, Kayla talked about that, and I bought it. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, but I'm going to read it and let you know what I think. All right, guys. I finished this last night. I read this in 3 days. I read more than half of it yesterday. I think I read the first 100 pages the first 2 days. And then yesterday I picked it up later in the afternoon and did not put it down until 2 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to finish it. Oh man, I was not expecting this at all. I thought that this was going to be kind of like something I could read and then donate afterwards. No, this was a 5-star read, guys. Where did this come from? So this follows a young boy, and his name is Craig. He is 15 and struggling with depression. It's something that he's been kind of feeling coming on, and then it just gets to a point where it's bad. It gets to a point where he becomes suicidal and is having very suicidal thoughts. He's coming up with plans. He's going to do this. He reaches out for help, and I thought that was fantastic that he reached out for help on his own. And he gets admitted into a psychiatric ward of the hospital close to his house. Now he's there for 5 days. That's kind of their minimum. And it follows him, in there and his treatment and, talking to doctors and psychiatrists and how he's feeling and the people that he meets there. It was great. And I've heard that this is very good representation of depression and, having suicidal thoughts and things like that. Now, I have not dealt with anything like this, so I can't speak to it, but I have people who have been reviewing it, who study these things, say that it's good. The sad thing is the author of this book dealt with depression and suicidal thoughts. This is based on his experience spending 5 days in a psychiatric ward of a hospital. So this is very tightly based on his experience. Unfortunately, he lost his battle with depression and he committed suicide, I think in 2013, from what my research told me. So that makes me sad. But this was so fantastic, you guys. This is a book that's going to stay with me for a while. I think it's very important. I think it gave me a lot of insight into this illness and what it can do to your brain and your mind and your life and the people around you. Yeah, so definite trigger warnings though, like, for depression and suicidal thoughts, also self-harm. There's a character in here who self-harms. So there's that. And yeah, so, but it was so good. I did not want to put this down. Like I said, I read more than half of it yesterday and I just could not put it down. It was so good. I flew through it. I loved it. Total surprise 5-star. Did not see this one coming, and it's one that I don't want to get rid of. I want to keep it on my shelves. All right, so let's do a little wrap up of these books here. So these are the 3 books that I read that Kayla made me buy, or I bought because I heard her talk about them. So as a quick wrap up here, First We Were Four by Alexandra Siruri is a young adult I guess I would call it a contemporary, maybe. It's not really a thriller. I mean, there's a little bit of a mystery in it. But this one I gave 4 stars. I really liked it. It's definitely a character study. It did feature a secret society, which I do like that in books. But yeah, so I liked this one. That's a good 4 stars. And I think that is the same rating that Kayla gave it as well. And then the second one I read was The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord. And this is a young adult contemporary. And this one I gave 3 stars. I think she gave it 4 stars. So I didn't like it quite as much as she did. Young adult contemporary is a little bit harder for me to connect with and to get into, maybe because I'm older. But yeah, so 3 stars. It was good. I didn't, fall head over heels in love with it. There's a sequel coming out, I think, that I'm probably not going to pick up. But it was good. I'm glad I read it. And then it's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini, which was such a surprise. I couldn't put it down. I stayed up till 2 a.m. reading it, and I gave it 5 stars. And I want more from this author. I know he has some more books out, so I'm going to be doing some research into that and adding them to my wish list. But I loved this, and I really thought this was a book that I was going to be able to just read and get rid of. But no, I'm keeping it because I loved it so much. And yeah, it was fantastic. I don't think that Kayla read this one, though. I think she maybe unhauled it, because I know that it was in her closet unhaul series, and that's where I first saw it. And all she did was talk about it. She didn't talk about reading it or doing anything like that. So I think she may have unhauled this one. But I loved it. So I'm glad that I picked it up because of her, and I'm glad that I read it. So that was a fun project, you guys. I love that. And it is definitely something I'm going to continue. I have some other booktubers in mind. I have tons of books that I have bought because of other people, and I thought it'd be fun to, actually start reading them and see what I think and see if that's worth it. Should I continue buying books that some of these people are influencing me to buy? Or, should I maybe skip it going ahead? And that'll depend on the reading experience. So I think for Kayla personally, her and I don't have super similar reading tastes. I think we have similar thriller reading tastes, which is very interesting. She's loved a lot of thrillers that I've loved, and not loved a lot of thrillers that I haven't loved. So I think in the thriller aspect, we're very similar, but I didn't pick any thrillers, which is interesting. I don't know why I didn't do that. But yeah, but other than that, she has loved some books that I haven't loved, or she's not loved the books that I've loved. So it's very interesting with her. We're not exactly on the same wavelength, but in certain genres we are. So interesting. All right, that was a fun experiment. I definitely plan to do some more. I have other booktubers in mind. I'm going to maybe do another one in a couple months here. But yeah, so let me know down below if BooksandLala in particular has caused you to buy a book, and if you read it and what you thought. I'd love to know what some of your answers are. And are there any booktubers that really influence you to pick up a lot of books? Can you think, oh, I bought this because of so-and-so? Again, another book I picked up because of so-and-so. I think we all probably have some people like that. All right, I will talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.